Hey everybody, it's Hussein Kabani, your favorite broker. And right now we are in the middle of August 2025 and we're having an awesome summer in terms of sales and weather. Maybe a little bit hot on the weather side. We could use that a little bit more on the real estate market side, but hey, we can't choose that. But what is going to happen in the fall market? I know we have a bunch of people that are waiting to actually list their property in the fall market. So how do we think that the fall market, and I really want to say the fall market is going to kind of start around mid to end of September and kind of go to mid-November, end of November kind of time frame. So we got these like 2 months that we're going to be able to have in there for our fall market. And how does that look from my perspective? Well, what I think is going to happen is that hopefully we're going to get our inventory position down, because this is what's been happening right now in the summer. The inventory has been coming down, and right now we're sitting at just over 30,000 listings available for sale. I think that probably when we get to that fall market, hopefully we have some around 29,000 listings available for sale. Still a very high inventory position, but a lot lower than what we were dealing with before. I believe this year we got to like 35,000 listings available for sale. So we've had a bunch of that come off of the market, and I think that because of this summertime, we've seen even more come off of the market. I think in the fall time, what's going to happen is that we're going to sit a little bit lower, hopefully lower than 30,000 listings available for sale when the fall market starts. But at the same time, what we're going to see is I think we're going to see a lot more listings come onto the market, because that's what people are basically programmed for, is like spring market and fall market. Whenever I talk to people about seasonality, for the most part, I think seasonality has been out the window since COVID. Nothing kind of makes sense, and it's just kind of works out to what the scenario, external environment, how the external factors are playing out at that time. But when it comes to fall market, I think what's going to end up happening again is we're going to see increased inventory, and we are actually going to probably see more buyers out there at the same time. But I think what's going to happen is that we're probably going to see more inventory than buyers. I don't think that the buyer's appetite is still there. And I think one of the bigger reasons that we're going to see more listings available for sale than buyers is that I think that we have lost a segment of the buyer market, or the buyer market in general, which is the investor, especially for single door investments. I think those guys, a lot of them are on the sideline or have gone to different products right now. So I think we're going to see that effect in two ways. One way I think is going to be is that they're going to start to list their properties in the fall time. So these investors that want to get out of their property, they might be putting them up on the fall in the fall time. And there's going to be a lack of investors on the market ready to grab these things up, unless, in my opinion, if they have 2+ doors. If you have a single door, I'm not really a huge fan unless it's a spectacular deal. But if you have 2+ doors, I think it's going to move in a different way. I think that right now what's happening is that coming down from the all-time high pricing, it's taken a few years, but we are starting to come to a point of where people realize that, hey, where the pricing is at right now. So not a lot of people are looking for crazy values for their property. Of course they want them, but I think they're becoming a little bit more realistic. And that's why we're seeing more volume sales actually happen at the same time, because people are being more realistic about pricing. And the thing is that something that's not going to go away is the amount of listings that are available for sale and how many buyers there are. The buyers actually have the upper hand, whereas they may have made some concessions about different things, maybe a layout, maybe a flooring color, maybe a specific location. They don't have to make these compromises, or they don't want to make these compromises anymore. If something's off a little bit or doesn't match their list like 99%, they're just going to move on to the next property or hope another one comes onto the market. We've seen this from feedback on some of the listings that we have. Like one particular listing feedback I got was that, hey, I'm working with a first-time home buyer. I've gone out, I've shown them 3 houses. They like all of these houses. They actually really like yours, but I showed them 3 houses. They like all of them, and they're just thinking to themselves that, hey, I like all of these. There's going to be more that are going to come out that I'm going to like. So buyers are not in a rush to pull the trigger. I think the only way that they're going to be in a rush to pull the trigger if it is some kind of unique type of property that fits their circumstance. And by that, what I mean is that I'm working with this other buyer right now. She's an elderly lady. She's got a stacked townhouse right now that has like multiple staircases before she can get to her bedroom, and she doesn't even go onto the rooftop terrace because it's too far for her to kind of go all the way up there and then come back all the way. She's even looking for a particular type of property that's actually on the market right now, and it meets all of her needs. So I think she's going to be willing to be a little bit more aggressive and try to get this property because it fits all of her needs. So if it is something unique for the market that somebody's looking for, I think that they're going to pay. But if you have a normal cookie cutter house. I hate to call it out, but like Seton and Pickering has so many of the same inventory. Like you can't really price your house higher than anybody else because you're automatically going to be not competitive as to what's happening in the market, and you're not going to be able to sell. I think if that all the single car detached houses are playing between $1.05 million and 1.1, you want to try to get 1.2 or even list your house for 1.2, you're not going to have any showings at all in the market. But I think that's kind of going to be the rest of the way through is that I think that we will probably end up seeing better sales when we compare it to the previous year, month over month kind of thing. So I think this August, our sales are probably going to be better than they were last year in August. And I think that's going to be a trend continuing onwards, at least until November, December. Mind you, I don't think that year-to-date sales, we are going to catch up. I think we're going to be close. Last year wasn't a good volume sales year, and I don't think this one is going to be. We're probably going to be shy of this at the same time. And moving on from this year as well, is it's going to depend on what happens, what kind of trade deals we come up with, what happens in our political environment, and that's what's really going to influence 2026. There is talks about doing a lot of military spend, which is probably what I hear is probably going to increase the interest rates and stuff like that. The demand on money is going to be there, so that could also have a factor on what's going to happen. But I think overall, I think the sellers that are in this market here right now, call it the end of the summer market, I think that they are actually in a good position. I think as the inventory is coming down, the serious buyers that are out there right now, they have less and less options. They might start to feel some FOMO and pull the trigger on a house that 80% meets their thing because they're seeing them get outbid on some houses. Some of them are dropping off before they can get there. So I think they're feeling a little bit of FOMO, and I think that you have a better shot at selling your place for a little bit more money right now. I think in September, middle of September, end of September, that might go away because you're going to have more listings and buyers will obviously have more choices. So overall, I think that the sales volume will stay the same. I think pricing is not going to change much at all this year, possibly even next year. And I just hope and I think that we're just going to probably see a little bit more consistent sales, especially because we're getting over this stuff about like the shocks to the market, right? Trump putting in 35% tariffs on everything. People are just tired of it now at this point. So I think that we're just going to see hopefully a normal balanced market kind of moving forward. And it's not to say that we won't have hiccups along the way. And then again, in terms of like Bank of Canada bringing down the rate, I think that there's too much going on right now for them to actually do that. I think that they're going to have some very clear signs that they're going to have to cut the rate in order for them to actually do it. Otherwise, I think they're going to sit on the sideline and just see how things go. And again, like I've said in my previous videos, I don't think that the interest rate is the thing that's deterring people from trading in the market. I think it is, again, the overall the external factors in the market that people are just kind of shying away from. At the end of the day, if you have to make a transaction, you have to do a transaction, whether it be that you're an investor or have a property that you thought you're gonna rent out and it just didn't work out your way. I think the smartest thing that you could do right now is just kind of dump that property if it's not working out for you. If you're trying to hold on to say, hey, pricing is gonna get better in the in the next 6 months or the next year, I don't think that's gonna happen. I could be wrong. So if you are in that mind frame, I think you should reconsider it and probably try to get out of it sooner than later. So I don't really think that's going to happen. Again, I don't think that the prices are going to fall down either, but one way or the other, if you're going to exit a property, you're going to exit that property in 6 months or a year, you might as well just pull that band-aid and get it over with right now. And in terms of like buyers, I would tell buyers that, hey, I don't know when the price is going to go back up, and I don't know what other inventories that's going to come up. But if you're a buyer, I used to say 3 to 5 years. Now I say 7 to 10 years. I think that if you're going to be in that location, you feel comfortable with your job and everything else like that, you're going to be there. I think this is a good time for you. If you find something that you like and you're going to be there for the long haul and you want to be a homeowner, I think this is a great time for you to kind of get in. This could be a good opportunity for people to get in that want to be a homeowner, but may not have all the resources, financial resources to back them up to even find something with possibly a legal basement apartment to help them out. I know some people that have actually bought a property with a legal basement apartment, but they don't need the house at this point, but they're planning for the future. So what they do is they actually move into the basement and then they rent out the upstairs portion of it. So they're basically living there for free at this point and still paying down their mortgage. So I think that there are creative ways to go, but the main message from this video here is that real estate is a long-term investment. Whatever we kind of saw happen from 2020 2020 to 2022, that's not normal. And you could kind of see it reflected in the amount, the increases in price and increase in sales and lower inventory. You can see that wasn't a normal trend. I think that if you're going to be in the market, again, it's a long-term play. If I buy real estate today, I'm going to say for myself, I'm going to have a vision in my mind of saying at least 10 years, I'm going to be holding on to this thing, because I don't know what's going to happen in the next like 2 to 3 years, but I feel a little bit more confident about what's going to end up happening in the next 10 years. If you guys are on this mindset, this path of saying, hey, either I want to sell this investment property I bought because I don't want to deal with this tenant, or I just can't afford to, you know, keep putting money into it, or if you are a first-time home buyer that is just, you know, kind of getting into the market, thinking about getting into the market, or another category that we have that is really good for this market right now is move-up buyers. You already have a townhouse and now you want to get a detached property, and because your family's growing, you have the right reasons. It's not ego, it's the right reasons. I think for these people, there's a really good time to connect and for us to just have a conversation of what you're trying to do. And I'd be happy to give you my input on how I would handle this situation if I were in your shoes. For this, my Calendly link is going to be below. I encourage you guys to click on it. Let's jump on a quick 15-minute Zoom call, and I can listen to your situation, give you some advice from my perspective. And then if we want to do something beyond that, we could definitely talk about it. But my main reach out to you guys is let's just at least have a conversation, get a second, third opinion, and I'd be happy to give that to you guys. I hope you guys have found some value in this. Please go ahead and like it, share it with your friends. And again, subscribe, because I think we have original, honest, authentic content that comes out here, and I'm very open to talking to you guys about whatever you guys want to talk about the real estate market. Again, the link is below. Let's connect. Until next time, guys, remember one thing: get Cabani, get sold.
Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold.